Current statistics indicates that nearly half of the world's populations live in the poverty. Many of the ASEAN members have made a significant strides in eradicating the incidence of the poverty. However, over 15 million people in these regions are still living below the poverty threshold at only $1 per day only. Poverty is not actually just about the lack of money. It is about a lack of opportunity, a lack of choices, a lack of hopes, and a lack of access to all the sort of things that many of us consider essential to life. It is a forced reduction in consumptions due to insufficient incomes and menacing surrounding conditions. The most extreme poverty leads to unescapable hunger, insufficient and unhealthy diet. Hunger and malnutrition weakens the body, the minds, and the capability to work. Disease can be foodborne with a link to bad diet and contagious because of they can't afford to buy an actual food that is healthy. They are struggling to survive to put some food on their table. Thus, they are willingly eating the leftover foods that can be found on the rubbish dump. For example, in the Philippines capital Manila, there is a food called pang-pang that is basically a food salvaged from the rubbish to be sold only 20 cents in nearby poor communities. In terms of the economic, mainly the number of people living in the poverty influences unemployment rates heavily. Without an education, people are likely to find a paying job. Unemployment that because of the poverty will hinder a country from a developing country into a strong economic system, and therefore cooperation between the ASEAN will be difficult to accelerate their economy together if one of the members is facing an extremely poverty. Besides, many people living in the poverty are homeless, which puts them on the street and lead to increases in crime. When people have nothing and no money to buy necessity, they might be forced to turn themselves to commit an illegal activity in order to survive. For instance, rape, killing people, and selling something that is illegal like drugs, weapons, and endangered animals. Therefore, it will become a huge problem for ASEAN since the criminals can move into a neighboring country to do the same crimes as drug dealers, for example, that can lead to instability in the society as well. First and foremost, modernize rural area through the use of the appropriate agricultural technologies. Most of the poor people who are living in the rural area is falls under the poverty lines and working on the agriculture sector. In order to ensure that they are being able to participate in the economic developments and becoming competitive in the markets, the government needs to equip them with the knowledge and the training while providing a good infrastructure and services, and therefore they will be able to be independent and move forward on their own way. Moreover, ensuring the equality in distribution income by imposing a progressive taxation, whereby the richer people need to pay a higher taxation to the governments while the lower tax rate on the low-income earners. Then the tax revenue will benefit the poor people through the implementation of a free education in the primary schools level. In addition, when we are doing this consistently, we can bridge the gap between the rich and the poor people. At the end of the day, the poor people will be able to buy a basic necessity with the help of the governments, since they are receiving a lot of the benefits from those income taxations. Furthermore, people can find and support credible organizations that are working to reduce poverty in the world's poorest communities. There are a variety of organizations focused on the different aspects of the poverty, such as the World Vision that have the participation in 100 countries, including Malaysia. This can include access to healthcare and education services, and many more. Supporting this kind of the organization can involve everything from the making financial donations to the voluntary and to advocacy work. In conclusion, poverty is one of the challenging issues that arise in the ASEAN, since most of the poverty are living in the Southeast ASEAN. If there is no solutions taken by every country, it will hinder the objective of the ASEAN that wants to promote the economic, social, and cultural developments of the region through a cooperative programs.